Hi everyone. Today we have with us Katie Prasad, MD and RVP, India and SARC at Zendesk. Welcome to the show, Prasad.
Thank you, Sunil. Pleasure to be here. Good
Yeah,
morning to everybody and good morning to you.
yeah, great. So I'll just start straight away with the questions. So of course, the burning topic continues to be Corona. I mean, we have now. I think it's very clear that we have entered the COVID era. But
Yeah.
as a technology firm, we are more interested in the technological changes that are happening due to the COVID era. So initially a lot of people thought that this will go off, this will come, something is temporary. But I think it's fair to assess at this point what are the general tech trends that have become permanent, and is there anything that could return to the old normal from the technology point of view? So that is one. And second, what about the CRM space? How has the CRM space also changed during this COVID era? Because now everybody is at home, and I mean the way companies are interacting with their customers is totally different.
No, absolutely, Sunil. If I would say that nothing had changed, I would be lying. In 2020, since I think early March, late Feb onwards, especially in India and the subcontinent, till now, I think everything has changed. And I think the year of change is huge and massive. And some of us and the businesses out there all need to quickly adapt to remote working and work from home as option to continue to drive to do what people have to do. And that's very new to most of the businesses. For tech companies, it's far more easier to move to remote working from home. But imagine BPO companies, they where you get people at the desk and start working and stuff like that. I think from there till now, things have changed dramatically. And I think we are continues to be in a COVID era, and the impact that what it caused, and it's going to be lasting for even post-COVID era too. Now, let me give you a few things what we observed. And at Zendesk, we've done two CX trends, customer experience trends. One in 2020, just about a couple of months into the pandemic, we have done one dipstick and looked at what is the customers are feeling about, what are the expectations, how the business is responding. And we have just done a month and a half ago one more CX trends 2021. That's what we call it. And especially the CX trends 2021, it's very clearly emerging. The three top trends emerges. I think number one, there is a spotlight and customer experiences. And what that means, 90% of Indian companies say CX is far more important than a year ago. And about close to 55-60% of customer feels the same way. That means businesses as well as customers all feel that there is differentiation nowadays is going to be a customer experience. Now, on the bright side slightly, I think when I compare India versus, let's say, Indian customers and consumers versus the rest of the countries like maybe a US or a Singapore or Australia or a Brazil, I think Indian customers are far more forgiving, which is good, because I think we do understand the scale of challenges, and some of us, all of us, have in some form or other had a bit of struggle to get moved to remote working. If you're a manager and people manager, you got to make sure that your people are comfortable to work from home and be productive and start contributing. And if a business, like I said, you have to move people, get functional, and start helping customers. But in this entire process of scale, I think we've been a lot more liberal. I think second biggest trend that we've seen, and I think very, very important to our conversation today, I think, it is more of a conversational world that we all moved into. Now, that means the priorities of providing top-notch customer experience, like we said, like talked about Spotlight and CX, is continued. And basically moving business-centric views to customer-centric views. I think that's what I call it as it's evolving journey of customer expectations. And the reasons, again, very simple. Let me explain it to you in a fairly simple way. Today, let's say I'm talking to a business, and probably the business is in the in the grocery delivery, like all of us get grocery delivered to our home. It's very common nowadays. And let's say I've placed the order on the mobile app, but I wanted to add a product. I would have gone to their chat, and would have started a conversation. Probably it's 2-3 hours before the delivery. I need something quickly to be done. I would have probably not waited something. I would have called, and maybe, to drive more personal experience, I would have started using messaging, because I can't call during the workday because I'm busy, but I can do a multitasking doing messaging. I think if you look at it, today's customer, like me, and I'm like you, and I'm sure all of us, we feel that we move channel switching like no other. It's customers are using more channels than ever in the in the last year. And I would say there is a huge adoption of messaging technologies, especially and for Zendesk, the messaging is very different. Maybe for a simplicity of conversation today, I'll say messaging could be any social messaging technology like WhatsApp. So we are seeing about 120% of adoption of WhatsApp in APAC, and close to 100% in India in the last year or so. I'll give you an example, because both of us are Bangalorean. In the COVID wave one, I think Karnataka government actually said, if you want groceries to be delivered, here is a WhatsApp number. You can type in the grocery list here, and we will deliver it that to you. Now imagine state governments, central governments, businesses. Everybody is moving towards more of messaging technology, because that's what drives personal conversation. Because WhatsApp is what I talk to you, Sunil, or maybe, or maybe talk to my family and friends. The tonality is very different. And more importantly, it's also a way of persisting a conversation. Let's say a year ago, like both of us spoke about a year, 3 months, 4 months ago, if we would have interacted on the WhatsApp, if I would have gone to my WhatsApp today on Sunil, I would have seen when is the last time that I've interacted with you. It is a persistent way of communicating. It's basically continuation of the conversation. But I think what I mean by conversational world, today's customer, are adopting a new channel and giving you specific data. 93% of Indian customers have used at least one news channel in 2020. And that's the huge number. That means every 9 out of 10 would have used one extra channel. Maybe like me, I've adopted a social messaging channel. I'm sure somebody would have adopted a different channel. My dad, who was a 76, 77 years person, started chatting with businesses. He's the kind of person who don't believe in anything other than calling, right? You see that's being changed humongously in India and elsewhere. But I think third point also what I've seen, and I think it's very applicable to our conversation today, I think we are at a digital tipping point. That what it means, what a digital transformation journey that we have done before COVID, maybe at the beginning of the year of 2020, and the businesses, they would have put in a 3-year plan and a 5-year plan, 1, 3, 5 years plan. Now, guess what? Everything is shrunk into days and weeks. And I think it's expedited digital adoption by businesses. It is because the need of the hour. Now, it's good for us, good for the businesses, good for the overall economy. Now, I can give you a little more facts in terms of when you look at slightly wider impact of digital technology. Over 1 million Kirana merchants actually have moved on to digital platforms in the last year also. Digital payments have, I think, is the topmost on the growth. I think probably about 42% growth in 2020. Now, these are the things it tells you where what we used to take about days and months and years to do, now people are expected to do. Units of economy changed. And about 80% of businesses said they've shrunk their digital transformation journey into weeks and months. And I think overall, all of this, if you look at where Zendesk really plays, Sunil, because we strongly believe to provide a beautifully simple CRM solution to customers, where we help them to focus on a conversation with the customer rather than figuring out with the technology. Now, it's very common when you and me call a contact center, when somebody tells you, let me put you on hold for in a couple of minutes, that they're doing a channel switching. But at Zendesk, I think we simplify all of that. We brought on something called unified agent experience. That means now agents should be able to see all the customer interactions and previous interactions and their system of record, if somewhere else sitting outside of Zendesk, everything in one simply beautiful screen where they don't need to switch channels, and driving better customer experience and driving CSAT. And very similarly, messaging also is very similar, but I think I'll hold. But because we are very passionate about providing this great technology to customers, and we're delighted that we are at the right place to offer those solutions to customers in India and across the globe.
Yeah. So thank you. I think that answer has like covered a lot of topics and things. So I'll probably maybe expand on a few of the concepts you have mentioned. So like I like what you said is like, yeah, our everything is becoming more conversational, even like with the customers. And I mean, initially you had to write a letter, make a phone call, but now I mean the number of channels on offered is amazing. And also you're right, it's becoming more business centric to customer centric. But I mean, how are you coping in this cloud world? I mean, we have entered the cloud world where billions of devices are connected with millions of data centers. So how are customers faring in connecting with the companies in so many different ways? Like you talked of your CRM solutions and simplifying, but I mean the number of devices, the number of operating systems, the number of apps. I mean, it's crazy. You can communicate with anyone in any way. So maybe if you can speak a little about that.
Absolutely, Sunil, and I think India is at the epicenter of that, right? So with about 1.3 billion population, over a half a billion smartphone devices, and constantly increasing at a very rapid pace, and especially in the last 1 year, the adoption of the smartphone technology and everything in it is just gone up significantly. Now, before I get on, I want to give you a little bit of my own view about how the CoWIN platform is working. And I think starting May 1st, it is open, vaccination is open for everybody across, all the adults, I would say 18 plus in India. And the way the government is talking about is actually making registration mandatory. And it is driven by digital technology, because I think that is the most prominent one. You can go to the app, you can go to, or maybe a desktop website and register and get your appointment and go there, because it's more of management of crowd. Because if you allow walk-ins when you open the gate till about 18 to 45, and that's the biggest number of population. At the same time, this is the population has got the most amount of adoption of digital technology, including smartphones. So I think that's a beautiful move from government, because recognizing where adoption of smartphones is there, and using that to solve crowd management, if you want to call it as, a queue management, if you want to call it as, because in any vaccination center will not be able to take more than 2,000 or 3,000 people, because you got to have a social distancing and things of the nature. But if I go back and apply it back to question back. Now, I'll give you an example of how messaging is very different from what Zendesk is, thinks. Because let's say, a customer can start a journey with a business by using artificial intelligence powered bot. Nowadays, bots are very prevalent in India. Every business has some bot or other helping customers, providing scale. But now let me give you a holistic example of how a true omni-channel solution can solve a problem. And it will remove the number of devices and channel and everything if you keep things simple. And what I mean by simple, let's say you have a artificial intelligence powered bot, and it could be as simple as you're trying to find out what is the working hours of a branch that you have to visit in a bank. And it's a simple question, a rudimentary, so bot can probably help. Then you ask the second question that, are you accepting XYZ, where you're trying to get a transaction specific conversation, and it hands out, it thinks that the bot doesn't have an answer. Maybe you asked a question related demand draft and maybe something else in detail. So it says, so I can't answer. Maybe I can help you talk to a human at the back end, a live agent. So you do a handout at the back end to a live agent. A live agent helps you to answer that question, because it's a little more complex question the bot cannot handle. And then probably they will also help you fix an appointment for you to visit a branch, because thinking that COVID wave, you need to, everybody is now tokenizing the visits. And we have done that in COVID wave 1, and probably we should do it in the COVID wave 2. So you could, number of people who are coming in, what they're coming in for, so you have a sense of preparedness. because some of the bank staffs and businesses are not fully functional in terms of their capacity. So you did a handout. Now you walk into the branch, you do a transaction, maybe you have a post transaction related query, you would call them, but you get some WhatsApp saying that your application is probably processed or whatever. You go back and reply. Now you see the number of transactions before you get the work done. You started your journey on a bot, you moved on to a live chat, then you moved in-person interaction, then maybe there is a social messaging app, and then maybe a call in there. But the way we at Zendesk think about messaging, about they're very holistic. We should be able to do all of this thing. It is a conversation Sunil is having with a business, and now that journey of conversation can start from a bot, can involve a phone, can involve a social messaging. Businesses should have an ability to orchestrate how they want a conversation with the customer to happen, and drop in all the technology that they want to enable that conversation to happen. And Zendesk makes it simple to drive that messaging conversation, because we think having this conversation in pockets will not help. Again, a lot of times there is a bit of a thing, actually, messaging means people think it's only on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is one channel of communication. But like I said, if you started a journey on bot, now imagine you walk into the branch and they tell you very differently answer than what the bot has given you. Then you think that, oh, because your bot answered it, your human agent at the contact center answered, I'm here, and you're telling me something different. It is what, you could have a broken experience, and we want to fix that, and we want to address that with our messaging technology, and by really orchestrating customer journeys on a conversation, draw all of that in a simple flow with us, and drop in the technology channels that you want to solve it, and you can drive a conversation, because now everything becomes seamless, and it can also drive omni-channel conversation. Now you take this messaging conversational bit, let's say you are expanding from India to, let's say, Southeast Asia. You want to move WhatsApp out and put line chat in. You're going into GCR, create a chain up for maybe a business expansion. You remove that and put WeChat. You go to US, put something else, put Facebook Messenger. Everything beautifully works. I think that's what we call, you can still be a local, you can offer global companies, you can remove all of the complexity the customers and your agents might have by simply beautifying all of this user journey mapping, so that everything is relates and everything has a purpose. And I can probably ask you this question, Sunil. You and me have interacted with several businesses on our own individual capacity, and we go to a particular website, a bot tries to answer, doesn't understand what I'm answering, and it keeps repeating the menu items. Now, it is a broken experience. And we think that there is a huge opportunity within India where the conversational messaging can be adopted. Because this is what customer wants it. This is what has come out as a clear trend of 2021. And I think businesses need to provide that to really drive great CX in our view.
Yeah. So anyway, it sounds great for the customers. I mean, it is becoming, seamless. And also, like, from the point of view of the businesses also, like you talked of the dipstick CX trends of 2020 and 21, then you talked of how, digital is getting expedited. So I'd like to ask, how much has digital transformation taken place in light of these trends? And what has been the role of CX in all of this?
One of the trend is Spotlight and CX. It's very clear that most businesses thinking that CX is a core differentiator, Sunil. I think, and I'm so glad India is probably at the forefront of the businesses thinking that, oh, now I have to provide this great CX, because everything is digital, right? And every business, irrespective of whatever they do, they have some form of digital touch to their customers now. Because with COVID era, there are segment of customers. I'm not saying that all the segment, there are segment of customers who continues to be only using digital as as a channel of engaging with businesses, even though few months ago when it was probably okay to go in to do a offline related transaction. Maybe it's a jewelry shopping or a grocery shopping, or it could be a business that you're trying to get answered with a bank or a fintech company. But what it's caused, digital has caused. I think you asked that that question about, you look at what pandemic has caused. Pandemic has caused some effect of most businesses is moving their workforce to 100% remote. And what some of the businesses, like including Zendesk, is saying that we believe post-pandemic as well, we will have certain percentage of employees will continue to work from home irrespective of post-pandemic or pre-pandemic, because I think it's the right way to do. It gives employees the convenience, and it gives them the time to do more, because now I don't need to use time to transportation and stuff like that. I can be more productive. It gives more flexibility, and for businesses, now I can attract talent. Instead of one city, I can go across country, right, if they work from home, right? So my barriers of hiring is removed. Now what this means for business, because for business now, you have some customers who comes on your offline manner, but you have more customers now very clearly called out to be working from home. And this is the kind of customer who would probably have digital mechanism as a first channel of interaction with you. Now, a jewelry can be sold through remote. That's what we've seen it, right? And especially some of the business friends and associations that I have in the industry, they're talking about, hey, you can schedule appointment with your jeweler, and bridal shopping was done remote. Imagine that, in India, marriage ceremonies and shopping for jewelry is such a big thing, and it's a family affair. Now, if that can happen remote and using technology, and I'm sure most of it can be moved. But what it means, you will continue to have a section of people will be working from home, and probably you got to cater to that. What COVID also taught us, every business to have a truly mechanism of offline, online on all means, because you got to capture all kind of markets. I think for businesses, it basically expedited transformation of their digital journey. But it's good for them because they're able to serve the customers not just within their pin code. If it's a Kirana store, they can go across city now. Maybe they can go to across district and stuff like that if you have infrastructure. So the digital adoption has significantly driven very hard in the last year. And I strongly believe, Sunil, it's good for the consumer, good for the businesses, good for the economy. It just gives everybody a scale to operate with.
Yeah, thank you. So I guess it's good news. Once hopefully, like, the pandemic ends, technology can take us forward. So I'll just ask one last question. Like, it's good you mentioned India is the epicenter of it. India is at the forefront of it. So what is the CX landscape in India, and what changes have you seen in Zendesk Indian customers during this period?
See, earlier, the difference between the customer experience and customer support was difficult to to be differentiated in some businesses. Actually, they think that, okay, I'm providing the support, so I'm providing experience. But I think in the last 1 year, what it changed in India in particular, now businesses are more focused about the journey of a customer, because you have to really map the customer journey so that you can start giving them the experience that they needed. I think that's a very good trend that we started seeing emerging in India. Second, very importantly, I think putting customer in the epicenter of doing everything, which is again good for the customer, good for the economy. I think it's also more importantly looked up as a differentiator, right, Sunil? I think it was India is everybody outside of country and inside the country. If you ask them, oh, we're a very price sensitive market, the discounts will drive customers and everything else. But I think that notion is changed, because when the pandemic has hit, and you and me, and I'm sure we have become, our loyalties have changed to those companies who are providing experience and who bother about us and the experience journey that we go through, rather than maybe that place has got X percentage less than this product and stuff like that. Because now we want to deal with businesses who can be trustworthy, who can give post sales support, and more importantly, understands what I want. And I think if I were to put it in the simplest way, I think pandemic has really helped us to expedite putting customer in the center. And once you do it, everything else will change it. It doesn't matter large businesses and enterprises, whether it doesn't matter you're a digital native businesses. Everybody need to use this method, because this is the best and probably most successful when you put customer in the center and differentiate it with CX. There are many examples I can quote in India that have done. Some of our customers like ITC Foods, which is a very popular brand and using our Zendesk technologies to provide and engage their customers, because they're in a B2B2C space, but ITC recognizes the need of connecting to end customer, even though your sell-through channels is distributors and then finally to the retail stores and consumer, but using Zendesk to connect to that last mile. That's number one. 1mg, online pharmaceutical company, very popular, which you would have used to get your at-home tests, lab tests done and stuff like that using Zendesk, and probably one of the first company to adopt WhatsApp in India, as a mechanism to engage customers on the channel. Some of the big examples like DevFactory, who was in a this is one of the unlisted company in the Fortune 500 and serve the Fortune 500 customers, pretty large business. They've adopted Zendesk and actually driven their customer CSAT from mid 80s to mid 90s, and so on and so forth. And on the DevFactory, I think there is recently we have released a reference. I'm more than happy to have that sent across to you for further details. But what we see, industries like EdTech, education technology, FinTech technology, I think all of them are really embracing this change and driving huge adoption. And we are so happy to be right up there to help those customers to differentiate it with CX. I think we are right up there to help these customers means a lot for us. And we thank our customers and partners who helped us to get there.
So thank you. I think we had a very enlightening and detailed discussion, and also we have a positive roadmap for the future. So that's something good. So thank you so much for your time.
Sunil, it's absolute pleasure to talk to you and talk to all our audience. It's the times are like this, are tough. Yeah. If you allow me, I would want to say, sure. For everybody who's listening, stay safe, and your well-being and your family and friends' well-being is super important. Like we talked today, there is a way of doing business. There are a way of getting things done, to deliver your home or whatever. If you're a individual like me or family person like me, you can get things delivered. You don't need to step out. Being safe is important. And if there is any way that we could be part of that conversation, happy to be so. Sunil, thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you.